Welcome to Geeks Corner. I'm Mr. Daps.
I'm Katie.
Divided evenly, there are roughly 62 Lego pieces for every human being on Earth.
That's it?
That's a lot. That's a lot of Lego.
Two kinds of people.
That's so many Lego pieces. Like, I could still build a lot. Like, I could still build something with 62 Lego pieces.
Like what?
I don't build Lego, so I don't know. But I could build something. I could build a really long stick with Lego pieces, with 62 of them. It'd be very long. 62 pieces is a lot. How big are the Lego pieces? Do I get, like, a weird shaped one? Do I get a regular square shaped one?
I'm Cameron. Use the hashtag Geeks Corner to tweet at us, and we might respond.
Tell us your favorite Lego
I
piece.
could build a lightsaber. Like, you know when you would connect a bunch of expo markers together and then, like, make a sword? Yeah, I could do that. I think that'd be feasible.
Okay. Why not? Yeah. Okay, let's move on. This Sunday we got Disneyland super early in the morning to walk through the park for part of CHOC Walk, which raised $2.5 million so far for the Children's Hospital of Orange County. They're aiming for $3 million though, so if you would like to donate, go right now to chocwalk.org/DAPS MAGIC and donate to our team because it's more fun.
It's true.
But there's still time to donate. We can do that through September 12th, and so we're trying to generate more donations to help them get to that $3 million mark. Don't have to give a whole $500,000.
I mean,
$5 would be cool.
It's an option.
Yeah,
I mean, go
$5,
for it again.
$50, $500,
For all our millionaire
$5,000.
viewers.
Yeah, we might have one of those somewhere, maybe. I don't know.
If we do, make checks payable to
I was gonna
Cameron
say-
at...
And then go to patreon.com/dapsmagic.
Right. Talk about your favorite part of CHOC Walk this year, Katie.
This year, my favorite part of CHOC Walk was... See,
You brought it back.
I'm bringing it first.
So I gotta
Okay.
watch the pre-show.
Back to the show.
Yeah. Watch the pre-show. I think one of my favorite parts... I think this year there was an extra sense of camaraderie. I feel like other years people kind of get lost in the team aspect and things get very competitive. But this year, my mom and I made friends with someone in the elevator who was from Once Upon a Chalk, that team. And we literally walked the entire tram route together. And it was... She's like, what team are you guys on? And so we got into this whole thing. We talked about her daughter. Hi, Tori. If for some reason you find this, you're a fantastic person to get to talk to. But there was just a sense of friendship and camaraderie around the entire walk.
And also on Twitter.
Yeah.
Like, I was noticing tweets going back and forth from different people, you know, supporting each other. Our friend Jeff was walking also, and he and I were kind of going back.
right?
Yeah, $751. Congratulations. Well done. And that's, you know, we still have a month to go. So keep going and supporting Jeff and support DAPS and support whoever. And let's see if we can get him to above 3 million. Like, what if it got to 3.5? Nobody's expecting that. That'd be super
awesome.
cool. So that part was really cool. How about the actual walk itself? What were some of the highlights for you this year? Because it was very different. Like for me, seeing the Mark Twain, and they had Little Mermaid and Prince Eric, and they had Aladdin and Jasmine, and they had Mary Poppins, Bert, and a couple penguins. And
Obviously,
it's just
the
sitting
penguins were the
there
highlight.
in front of New Orleans Square, kind of in
Sitting
front of...
on the ground. Just
Pretty much,
It jumped out of water and it just sat there.
But it stopped right in front of Pirates of the Caribbean, basically.
Yeah.
And that was such a pretty view to just see sitting there.
Yeah.
In, what was the time? 6:30 in the morning?
Something like that.
6:45.
Roughly.
And, like, it would have been super cool if we had, like, a really vibrant sunrise.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was okay. But I thought that was a really good use of the Mark Twain, and it was kind of an interesting thing because we got to go by Haunted Mansion and Double Back this year, which was very different than other years. And we actually entered through Adventureland, which I don't remember that happening before. And I think part of it's because it's always been too thin.
Yeah. And now that it's
they've
actually
opened it up,
widened.
and there was no strollers there, so that helped too.
Yeah.
But anyway, favorite part of the actual route.
Well, there was so many good characters. I did love to see Chip and Dale and Clarabelle and was it Daisy on the jalopy?
That was fun.
It was incredibly fun. It was one of those things we walked in, and because there's no trolley, normally there's some characters on the red car trolley, but having them on the jalopy was so fun.
It was almost like there was some sort of cartoon happening on
Absolutely.
Because they were having a lot of fun, and like I got a picture that I don't think I've posted it yet, but you've got just so much going. Like there was probably 4 stories happening because each of them were living out their own little story on the jalopy, and it was good.
I think that was one of my favorite parts because it was so unexpected. And there was also just a ton of characters. Like Jane and Turk on Tarzan's treehouse was another really fun surprise that I think everyone kind of missed too, because not a lot of people were looking up, and a lot of people at that point had already seen the twain. So they're kind of looking around, and everybody's like, "Wait, look up!"
Like, hey, we're up here.
Yeah,
that was cool.
There's just a ton of characters, which was super, super fun.
The other thing that was nice this year is it wasn't super hot.
Oh,
Like
weather
it was
perfect.
very comfortable, and that helped a lot. I thought also, and I thought it was just a fun year. The ambassador team were incredible, sweet, and
I loved the Dapper Dans doing the Disneyland medley.
that was
which
fun.
One of my favorites with the Deegan organ chimes.
And perhaps the best part, and if Murray were here, he would agree with me, was the fact that DJ Clark was the host of the morning. Like, DJ Clark is amazing. And if you ever want to be on the show, DJ Clark, you're more than welcome to sit right here. And
I'll move. It's fine.
DJ Clark, we go back, I don't know if he knows this, but DJ Clark and us go back really far from when they used to do these events where they would do Disney trivia. And Team DAPS Magic would always kill at Disney trivia at these press events where he was doing.
It was against children. They just wiped him out.
Sometimes.
Decimated them.
But we like DJ Clark. We've always been fans of him, and all the other DJs are great too. But there's something very fun, and he's just a fun person to be around.
Agreed.
And he brings
he's
a nice
good
vibe.
host.
He's a good, especially for that early in the morning where a DJ could really be too much.
Yeah.
Because most people are going on just a couple hours of sleep.
And no coffee and no food.
And there's, turns out Starbucks didn't open until we were already on Main Street, so that was a problem.
I was sad.
But that's okay. Anyway, anything else you want to add about CHOC Walk?
Every dollar goes to kids, so it's a really important.
And they're opening an autism center this year. And
This
last year
January.
they opened a but that's considered this
I
year.
know.
And then last year they opened a mental health ward, and that's so they're doing some really fantastic things with the donations.
And a lot of it is thanks to what CHOC Walk does,
Yep.
because it's such a huge thing, and it's a lot of fun.
Yep.
So.
Other thing that happened this week was the Haunted Mansion celebrated its 50th anniversary, and they had a couple of parties that brought the mansion even more to death.
More
life.
manchier.
Well, I was going to say brought it more to life.
This
They
time
brought
more
in
mansion.
live actors. Raised more spirits. That was good.
Wow, smart man.
So my question is we know that there was some ballroom dancing scene or the table, and then the night that came
You
to
get
life.
very Jerry
but-
Lewis on this. The table, the ball,
Yes.
and the
And
dancing.
the night. Don't forget the night.
Hey, lady!
What ghost in the Haunted Mansion, if you were going through and you could armchair Imagineer,
Okay.
what ghost would you like to see brought to life?
No.
I would
I
actually.
don't.
Hatbox Ghost would be very cool.
I disagree
Our
with
producer
that.
Tyler said that tonight.
I want the one
Yeah, I love this. You're gonna go so niche. I'm here for it.
when you are about to exit to go to the hitchhiking ghosts, and there's the final of them on the right. If you turn back and look to the
I
right
totally know
into
where
the
you're
open
going.
tombstone,
Yep.
there's like a silhouetted hooded one.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
It's the most terrifying ghost in the entire scope of
You know what I
Hamilton.
love is you said I want the one. I was like, he's gonna say the one with the Sith.
It's my favorite. I think
Yeah.
I've brought it up before. That is it's legitimately scary because all the rest of them are like, "Ah," and he's just, I will end you.
I was gonna say that one's just so ominous.
It is one of the truly terrifying moments of the attraction. Who would you pick?
That's a great question.
Constant.
I was
No.
actually thinking that. That was
No.
kind of in my.
You really got to bury the hatchet with her, you know?
I'm
sorry, what?
One of you will come out ahead.
No matter which way.
Cameron, it's your turn.
I'm not married to this bet.
Too much of a commitment?
You just really have to divorce logic from it.
Do you have one, Luke?
Oh no, I'm not playing this time.
That was good.
That's good. It's very well done. But no, I prefer the heartbeat bread, I believe. But there's actually a ghost in the graveyard scene that's just like sipping tea and is just having a wonderful time. I want to be friends with that ghost, so I want them to come to life. They're like in the background. They're just like sipping tea. They're like having a good chat with their girlfriend, you know, just like
See, and
spilling the afterlife tea.
I want the ghost that nobody's ever seen or heard that literally pops out of nowhere and like scares people in their doom buggies, because I think that would be hilarious.
Bad. Terrible.
It'd be funny.
Terrible opinion. I don't like that. That's the worst part.
Wouldn't it be funny?
Don't do that.
I think it'd be hilarious. Bailey says that new Geeks Corner challenge, build something with 62 Lego pieces.
I think we could do that.
I think we could too. Would that be cumulative of the three of us making one thing together with 62 pieces,
Or a competition.
62
Competition.
I would say
Randomized 62.
If it's the three of us
each? And
trying
how
to,
would we pick the 62 pieces? Like, would it be the same 62 pieces?
I think it'd have to be a random draw.
if
I don't
it's
know
the
if I
three
have
of us
Lego
trying to
still.
build one thing together, it's not going to end well because I don't think the three of us could do anything that small together.
There are actual sets that are just 62 pieces. Just throwing it out there.
Wait,
yeah,
really?
I think it's doable.
Yep.
Did you just
Or
find
you
them?
could just go to the Lego store at Downtown Disney and buy 62
You can buy 62
pieces and put them in a bag. I think it'd be like $10.
Yeah, that'd be.
And they'd say, weird, but okay.
One of them is
I need.
Star Wars.
Oh, you want to talk about weird? There's
Well,
a
it'd be
table
something
on
we have
this
to
set that we
create.
spent 3.5 hours in the Lego store individually picking out one by one Lego pieces to make a mosaic of the DAPS hat.
and it's
love it.
pretty awesome.
They gave us a discount by the end of it. They were like,
Really?
"Please leave."
Just get out of here.
They said, please,
Um,
children want Legos. Just go.
So, Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
Right? Wow. Ooh.
What is your favorite scene?
I like Leota. I like the seance room because I like practical effects.
That's where
that
the live
around.
ghost can come and scare people.
Yep.
That's where it would be. Good call.
Is it David S. Pumpkins?
It's David S. Pumpkins.
See, that'd be great.
I'm David Pumpkins.
That'd be funny.
And
And then he just comes around the middle of the room and then goes away. It'd be great. Not quite as scary, right? Maybe more. Okay, so you seance room. How about you?
And we're
Katie.
part of it. I do really love the whole like wake section where there's the let me out, because it tells a story. It's the story of like from
Lovely lady.
like the fact that you are going into the scene of a wake and then you're
So the observatory.
yeah,
I think
like
that's-
it's
is that the observatory? Is that what it's
What?
called?
You like the zombie?
I do like the zombie.
The garden room.
I do
thing.
like zombies, but it tells a story. It makes you feel like you are in a mansion and that there's
Yeah,
this,
it makes a lot
this
of sense.
thing going on. And then you immediately go down the hallway with all the doors. But
And the Twilight Zone clock.
and the Twilight
It's
Zone
a very
clock.
Twilight Zone-y feel.
It
It
really
is.
New Twilight Zone is awesome, by the way. And I would pick the attic, mainly because of the ghost playing the piano.
Of course.
Yep.
I've
That's
always
a good
I've always
ghost.
thought that's such a cool
Dun,
moment.
Who's a good ghost?
Yeah.
You're a good ghost.
Steven says they're helping us find pieces by the end. That was pretty cool about
Aw.
making the table.
Yes.
That's a
Dear
fun
friend
thing.
Steven was there.
Bailey says, I was going to say Hatbox Ghosts because they are amazing, or he is amazing, but I want to go home with the two drunk ghosts on the chandelier. That would definitely be interesting as well.
Well done.
That's a
Steven
good choice.
says, live action ghost should be, he says, I think the gunfight ghost clearly doing different things would be cool. That would be
But
fun.
at the same segmented times of actually phasing into existence, so they just their
Yeah.
life is ah.
yeah,
Yes.
that would be fun.
Yes.
They didn't sing 10 dual commandments.
Yeah, they don't know what
They
the
don't
10
know
dual
what's going
commandments
on.
are.
Yep.
What?
They're like one. I don't know. Does
What
anyone
year-
have a list?
I'm spacing at the moment. What year is the Haunted Mansion?
Like
69.
canonically,
What do you mean?
Like
Canonically,
when
what
did
year
those
is-
people? When did they all die?
what year is the mansion set in? I believe it's
That we
Oh,
don't know.
That's a
Well, in
problem.
the attic room, the paintings are like the 1800s.
that's true.
Yeah, I was trying to remember because 1812 was popping into my head, but that seems too early. But we should go look. We'll go on that. And we'll
Well, it's
find out.
late Victorian
Or let us know.
styling, at least in the clothes. So late 1800s, early 1900s.
It's very possible. If you know, let us know.
we're gonna have to do some
Maybe
research.
Roger will Google it for us.
Research.
Research.
Okay, so Bailey says for the Lego challenge, it has to be individual and randomized pieces
Okay.
from Mr. Daps Trilby. Thank you for using Trilby. And remember what I say, hashtag Geeks Corner, because it is law.
That's true.
That's what she said.
She
See, I
scares
was
me.
picturing it
Ah.
as find 62 bespoke pizzas to build a set thing, but I like your way more because at the end of it, it's going to be, I made a spaceship. It's going to be a spaceship. All of ours are going to be
All of ours
spaceships.
are gonna be
Or
They're
a
all going to be
boat. It
spaceships.
could be a boat.
What is a spaceship but a boat for the skies?
Future boat. All right.
Future boat!
Future.
From the year 2000.
Future. We took it there.
This last week, Bob Iger did an earnings call about the third quarter financial results for the Walt Disney Company, and of
Otherwise
course,
known as futures.
everybody, thank you, has opinions about said earnings. We're going to share ours as well. Cameron, I'm going to let you go first.
Money.
Did you hear about this? Read it. What do you know?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Many people are using this as a justification of, see, look, I told you that Disneyland is making all the mistakes. And no.
Nah.
Tell me why.
For
me why.
several reasons. Ain't nothing but a heartache.
Tell me why.
Economics.
90s night was last year.
Oh, that's true.
No, it wasn't.
No, it was this year.
It was literally 6 months ago.
That's right. It seems so long ago. Anyway, economics. Go ahead.
So, there is a concept in economics known as the fluctuating market.
Oh, I wish we had a graph right now.
Ooh, graphs would sell this so good, and it would actually help. The idea of a company posting nothing but gains or a bull market is suspicious, for one, and for another, completely unreasonable. Any market share for any period over any amount of quarters should have one that dips. It's healthy for the company simply to be able to refocus on what's important, especially if they're going through periods of immense growth immediately before or after. Oftentimes they will plan for a reduction quarter, which is probably what happened here. No company wants to necessarily lose money. However, they just had massive gains, especially in other aspects of the Disney intellectual properties. They know they have just made massive improvements to the parks in places that are going to be gainful for years to come. And they know that they have huge projects in the works like Marvel and which means that them taking a hit on a third quarter to be able to refocus on other things like leveling out pricing to make sure that it is correct, to make sure that they are able to manage staffing or recoup on certain things that need repairs for wear and tear by having less people in the park to be able to deal with that sort of thing, or to at least slow the progression of wear and tear on things. There is a madcap logic to all this. If you just breathe for a minute, you would understand that a massive company like Disney, which has been posting profits for probably the better part of 3.5 years, I think at this point, is totally fine to take a quarter hit loss and honestly may have planned for it.
Well, and look at the losses, what they were.
Yeah,
They're
minimum.
not bad losses, and I think Bob made a really good point. Excuse me, when he said we've got fewer people, but they're spending more.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, if I were the person running that would be my goal every month, like all the time, is you want to have fewer people spending more, because that means you've got less wear and tear in the park. You're getting more out of each person that does come in, so you can invest more in each person's experience. Mm-hmm. And personally, I very much like having Star Wars Galaxy's Edge walkable.
Yeah.
Like
Walkable.
Well, think about, because we all went to the preview, right? During that first month.
Yes.
Yeah, you did.
Yes.
Think of the first hour and the last hour of your preview. It was not, like, it wasn't bad.
It wasn't fun.
But it wasn't
noticeable.
nearly as fun as that middle hour where there was
just
nobody else. Or was it 2 hours in the middle?
2 hours, yeah.
Yeah.
And, but you think of that first hour, it was just like, there's 1 million people here. I'm never going to ride the Millennium Falcon. I'm never going to get into that store. Like, it was kind of hard to do stuff for the first hour or two, and it was kind of hard to get really good pictures because there was so many people there.
Yeah.
And then it suddenly opened up, and you're like, oh, this is cool. I can actually see that Rey is over there. Oh, there's Kylo Ren. I can actually go into Oga's. Like, it... Well, maybe not that, but...
Because we're getting extremely dense in the subject, let me just bring in a brief caveat here. If you're in Galaxy's Edge and you choose to yell the name Kyle Ren rather than Kylo Ren, it is a great way to make people very angry.
Wow. Did you do this?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was real good.
Did you yell it at Kyle?
Were you there?
My wife and I like the seagulls in Finding Nemo. That was the same energy we brought to Kyle Ren, Kyle, Darth Lord Kyle.
I'm sure they loved you.
Supreme Lord Kyle.
Don't do that. We do
Don't do
not
that.
condone that behavior.
We don't
at all.
condone that. We
The
represent it.
stormtroopers probably won't like it, and neither will Kyle, so don't do it.
Jeff is saying that according to a site on the internet, so we'll see, and maybe Roger can verify this. The house was built, is based on a house that was built in Baltimore in 1803.
Oh, early.
That house is
1800s.
probably real haunted.
Yeah.
Not by
that makes
They
animatronics.
sense.
just picked it up and brought it over.
Oh,
yes,
so yeah, real haunted.
So as we pivot back to financial results, anybody concerned for one?
No.
No.
Two, how long do you think it's going to be until everything's crazy again in the parks?
I was gonna say when passes are unblocked in the
Next
next couple
week.
weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's kind of funny because I feel like a lot of assumptions are being made based off of, like, July for the last few years has not been busy. Like, they changed the structure so people are blocked out, 3 weeks in July, and it's been beautiful. If you're the top level, whatever that level is, the signature and higher passes.
Supreme Leader.
Supreme Leader passport.
I'll be curious what that's like by the end of the year, too. That's another conversation, is where does Star Wars go by the end of the year?
To space.
Yeah, probably. But anyway, it'll be interesting to see how busy it is. And then my question for you guys is, Galaxy's Edge is about to open in Florida.
Yeah.
What do you think it's going to be like?
In Florida?
Flirted.
I bet it's going to pack out for
so.
about a month and a half to 2 months.
At least.
I'm looking at Pandora as an example, and I'm looking at the East Coast management of Universal properties that have opened up recently. I bet it's going to be horde.
Yeah.
Disney
So
World
it sounds like did anybody else hear that they're doing, I thought I heard they're doing virtual queuing.
I'm not
for the
sure.
land.
I didn't hear that.
Did anybody hear that?
I don't know.
Hopefully somebody can confirm that for me.
I mean, either way, I feel like Disney World is a bigger travel get
I
than
agree.
Disneyland. So if there are people going to commit to be able to come do that, it's going to be a wider net.
Yeah.
And it also captures much more of the European and Eastern markets as far as folks coming over. It's easier travel.
I feel like there's also just a ton of people that still haven't experienced Galaxy's Edge in Disneyland because they were waiting for Florida's to open. And as you said, there's a ton more people that they make their vacation Walt Disney World instead of Disneyland. So there's people that are...
It's a global destination where Disneyland really is more regional.
It really is, yeah. But even people that are kind of more West Coast, sometimes they will even travel to Disney World over.
I want to see theirs. Like,
Yeah, oh,
Yeah.
I totally
like
agree.
for no other reason than how cool would it be to be in a thunderstorm in Galaxy's Edge?
That's
It's
terrifying.
cool. I've done it.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
I've done it. It's terrifying and cool.
I'm all for it.
That sounds
I think it'd be
scary.
great. Like, I just think that would be really fun.
Also, their hotels are all sold out during Galaxy's Edge opening. So
Yeah.
all of the hotels.
Yeah,
and they have like a lot of hotels.
Yes.
Several.
yeah.
At
At
least
least two.
at least two.
Virtual queues being worked on and being confirmed.
Okay, so it's a possibility. It wouldn't surprise me at all.
But I also feel like there's also so much happening already during Galaxy's Edge opening, like Illuminations closing, Epcot Forever opening, like these couple months, Food and Wine Festival.
I think Galaxy's Edge and Food and Wine Festival are the two big draws this year.
I think it's just gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
Like there's so much
And
happening.
there's also the rubbernecker influence. It is felt at Disneyland,
Yeah.
but I think it's a legitimate percentage increase at Disney World when something happens. And with all those events lining up, there are the mid-tier vloggers or bloggers, much like ourselves would be locally, who would be convinced to make this the trip that they do all the things at.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, why wouldn't you want to?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, even I think those of us on the West Coast are completely intrigued by the East Coast just by the subtle differences. We were talking about a few of them before the show.
Yeah.
And like, I think it's not something you see every day where they try to do an almost identical land in two places, and then they're still different because they're different climates, and you know the colors we can already see are different. We can, you know, you're picking up on a few little things, and that's kind of cool.
Can I discuss the brilliance of Niantic and the Pokemon Company? Niantic, which is the parent company of Pokemon, released a series of games early into the market known as Red and Blue, and in Japan, Green. They are the exact same game with the slight differentiation that each game has 3 to 5 Pokemon that can only be got in the other game.
So you need every game.
So you need every game, or need to be able to socialize properly with the other games to be able to achieve
the other game
catching
goes.
them all. Disneyland is modern Pokemon with people.
It's true.
Yep.
There is very subtle differences between the Disney World and Disneyland lands, and it gonna make people want to go over and catch the blue version of the Pokemon.
And it is, I think. I mean, think of how many people from Florida came out to this one, even though they're going to get the same one.
It's true.
And, I mean, it'll be really interesting to see. Finally, go ahead.
Slight corrections. Game Freak, not Niantic. Niantic is the company that made Pokemon Go.
I was-
Game Freak is the parent company that was originally over the
I was
game
very
series.
confused
I
when you
wanted to
said
correct
Niantic.
myself.
I was like,
Thank you so much for
Good catch.
I appreciate it.
Finally, we've gotten a look at what Lady and the Tramp are looking like for the upcoming Disney Plus live
those
action.
puppies.
They're using real dogs.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Real puppies.
Like, one of them's a rescue dog and one of them's a purebred Cocker Spaniel. And I think that is the coolest thing ever.
I just hope that they don't do the weird, like, animated mouths thing.
Talking voice
I
thing.
don't
We just
like
put
it.
some peanut butter in there. Mr. Edit up.
But the puppies are so cute.
They're good
so
castings.
I think they're
sweet.
great castings. I agree. Now that you've seen this little bit of what we're gonna see come November 12th, is it out on November 12th?
Yes.
Okay. With Disney Plus, what are your thoughts on future Disney Plus movies? Like, we don't have a trailer, we don't have anything like that, but
I'm hopeful because the comparative market is difficult. Let me explain. Netflix took two approaches with their original content. It is extremely overproduced, wonderfully done stuff that is for a niche, more adult audience.
Yep.
And then pretty much everything else was terrible, and intentionally so, was just thrown onto the market to be able to see what hits. That shows me a gap. When you look at the other platforms that are making their own original content, it's much more adult-centric. Disney is going to be able to hit the sweet spot of producing things that are quality enough that parents do not feel like they're being tortured watching the things with their kids, and kids will enjoy it at the same level of quality. I think they have an extreme opportunity to be able to produce good things.
so do you think this is gonna be the modern Homeward Bound? Like, different storyline, obviously, but as I was looking at the picture, my first thought was like, oh, it's Homeward Bound. Like, the way that they're telling the story.
Are you talking, so story, not necessarily the cultural impact?
Correct.
Because we will never have another Homeward Bound ever
No.
again.
I mean the way it's filmed, the storytelling, the narration / voiceover.
Yeah, I think so. And
Or
it,
do you think-
it brings up a point that Katie was actually just bringing up about the CG. I actually really hope they move the mouths, because you bring up Homeward Bound, and all you get is a bunch of psychic dogs, and that scares me a lot.
I just say, I don't know which I hate more, the psychic dogs or the mouth moving.
So
They're
what do you think
both
it's
not
gonna
good
be?
Options.
I bet it's going to be animated. I think,
I was leaning towards that, to be honest, because I feel like that's the Disney way.
yeah.
But I'm only okay with it if it looks somewhat normal. Actually, completely normal.
Well, they're going to be able to pull it off because they use similar technology, at least in the CG, for like Jungle Book, and
Lion King.
and they'll be able to do vector masks. They did it all for Avengers for all the suits and stuff.
Yeah.
They have the tech. They'll be able to pull it off pretty easily. But
I'm intrigued by it. I really was impressed by the picture.
it's cute. It's cute puppy.
I say, I think it's going to be a cute movie. I don't know that it's going to be anything to write home about. I don't know that anyone is going to be all over social media like, did you see?
I feel like it's gonna be a step up above network television movies.
Yeah.
I agree. I just don't. I think it's just going to be a very cute, enjoyable
Yeah.
movie. Like, I don't think it's going to be.
Do you think it's gonna be Disney Channel original movie cute,
Yes.
or a step above that?
Well, you bring up the decoms, and that's
Half
a very
step.
good point. The reason
Major
that
peak.
we are so fantasticalized over the decoms is because that's what was available, and we can nostalgize it because that's what was available.
And they're all going to be on Disney
Yes.
Plus.
So
on
all the
release day.
decoms are as well. But I think that's what's going. If we're going to have any kind of staying power for these, it's going to be the 5 to 10 year olds that's what's available. They watch it, and then later in life, as they remember it, a la Luck of the Irish.
I love Luck of
Oh,
the Irish. 13th
So good.
year.
That's how I learned to do an Irish accent. is
Phantom of
that
the
film.
Megaplex.
Oh, it's a Phantom of the Mag. Oh,
I love Phantom of the
oh
Megaplex.
man, that brings it
That's a
back.
completely
And
different episode.
they're not good movies. That is super important.
No, if I watched them now, and I'll throw them on Disney Plus for nostalgia factor. But
See, I actually think these are gonna be decent.
I think
I agree,
so
yeah.
too.
Like
But-
Mandalorian is gonna be good.
Yeah, very good.
definitely.
That's going to be super good.
Like,
That's
I
going to
think
be
they're setting a different bar with
That's
this.
a Game of
but-
Thrones
That-
budget for every episode, though. So
yeah.
True.
Mandalorian is I think their answer to CBS's Star Trek.
Oh, it totally is.
It's
The Orville.
that level. It's going to be great.
No, it's he's right. It's Star Trek.
know.
It's a level higher. But oh well.
So you're going to go to thegeekscorner.com. That is thegeekscorner.com. If you're not there already watching this show, you totally should be. If you're not, congratulations. You live in an alternate dimension. Get to thegeekscorner.com. Watch us do things and stuff.
Go to dapsmagic.com in this dimension. Check out all the Disney and geek news as it happens. Subscribe to our mailing list and find our Patreon.
And make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel. We've got a lot of content coming with the D23 Expo in just a week and a half. Craziness. But that is all the time we have for you this week. So we will see you around the corner.